Conspiracy theories, eh? Wait till you get a load of this. Hello, and welcome to Cracked Sisters Conspiracies. We're a podcast that covers conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all over spooky shit. My name's Jackie.
And I'm Cassandra.
And we are said sisters.
Hello.
Hello. What's up?
Oh, nothing. Just, another day, another dollar. I'm so tired.
And I'm actually very tired as well.
Pulled a hammy for real.
And how did you do this again?
Doing RDLs and was on the way down, and I don't know what happened, but I felt like a weird snap, crackle, pop, like where my thigh and my butt cheek meet. So like right in
the under cheek, the crease.
The under cheek, that crevice. Something snapped that shouldn't have snapped. It didn't hurt. It just was a weird sensation like, ooh, that shouldn't have happened. So I immediately put the barbell away and I'm like, I'm done for the day. And so
I had a great leg workout last week.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was a butt workout. That's why it was great.
Yeah, my upper body is on fire, but that's where I have legs of steel. My upper body has no strength whatsoever.
It's okay. I'm working on it.
I'll get there. I
got a new book.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I bought myself a little birthday present. It's on the Union Screaming House.
I don't know what that is.
So the podcast I listened to, they had just covered it in their most recent episode. And oh my God, the episode just had me hooked. It was so interesting. It's a house in, I don't know what fucking state, but it's super duper fucking haunted. And the book is written by a guy that only lasted 13 days inside this house that he was renting. And it's just his terror tales of what occurred in the span of those 13 days. And I cannot wait to read it.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
I was hate reading a Chuck Palahniuk book this weekend.
But you love him.
I do, but I didn't particularly care for this novel. I was reading Lullaby, and it was just not engaging whatsoever. I was intrigued by the premise, but the execution, so I did not finish it. I put it to the side, and then I read The Housemaid, I think is what it was. I read it in a day. It was kind of Gone Girlish,
I like Gone Girl.
So you would probably like it, but yeah, I tore through that on Sunday, and then I started another book called Dark Matter, so I'll probably finish that.
Who's that by? That sounds kind of familiar.
I don't remember the author's name. It wasn't anyone I had recognized initially, but it's interesting. It's kind of like futuristic sci-fi. I still don't know what the fuck's happening.
I definitely have not read that. Then
no, it's not really your wheelhouse, but
okay.
But yeah, I've got to love Kindle and public library overdrive.
Oh yeah, I don't have a Kindle.
Don't have to buy.
It's not 2005.
But anywho, I have zero recollection of what this week's topic is.
Oh, let me tell you.
Okay.
Mermaids.
Oh, that's right. Mermaids.
Do you remember that Vine where the guy's like in a car and he's like talking to someone and he's like, Mur, and he goes, murder, and then he turns, he goes, Judas, and then it cuts?
Yes.
That's all I kept thinking. It was the murder part because of mermaids. So I said that to myself a lot today. Today we were talking about mermaids. Mer people.
I always wonder what's going on underneath the waist. Is it a fish anatomy? Is it human anatomy? I
had a feeling this question was going to come up, and I could not find an answer of what genitalia they have.
That's what I was poking at. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, what do fish have?
Fish parts? I don't know, but it's not going to be like lady bits, not real life.
Well, dolphins have that. What do manatees have?
Not human bits. That's what I'm thinking. Like, is it human genitalia?
That would look so weird.
Fish genitalia.
I'm uncomfortable.
I know, but it's also like, what is it? The Minotaur? Minotaur?
The half man, half bull.
And there's also the other one, the half man, half horse. I mean, clearly the horse guy's got the horse parts. That would be such a shame if he was shafted. I don't know. But yeah, mermaids, don't know. I've always wondered.
Shafted.
Unintentional. Okay, mer people.
So
let's get into it.
Alrighty. So mermaids are No, mermaids are aquatic creatures with the upper body of a human female and the lower tail of a fish.
They specifically female only?
Mermaids are.
Oh, are there mermaids and mermen? Is that
It's
what
merman.
merman
Man.
plural? Mermen is what I was thinking.
I think it's merman. I wrote it down somewhere.
Anyway.
We'll get into it at some point. But a mermaid is a female top half, fish bottom half.
Makes sense. Genitalia unknown.
Exactly. They have been in folklore in many cultures, including Europe, Asia, and Africa. Okay. They are sometimes associated with floods, storms, shipwrecks, drownings, just catastrophes, basically. Whether they cause them or show up right after or before is unclear, but somehow they're generally closely associated with some sort of event.
Some aquatic catastrophe.
Well, yes, they live in the ocean, under the sea.
Just felt like we needed to clarify that.
So the Western concept of mermaids is that they're beautiful and seductive singers, which is also similar to sirens, which were from Greek mythology and were described as human-headed birds, but during the medieval period, they were becoming synonymous with mermaids.
Now, the siren is the Starbucks logo, right? Isn't that what that is?
Oh,
did we?
I thought it was just a mermaid. Well, technically, it depends on which mythology you're in.
But
sometimes they're interchangeable, sometimes they're slightly
mermaid,
different.
It's yeah, but that's what Starbucks is.
I fucking hate their logo.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's dumb. What does that have to do with coffee?
I don't know. I'm sure there's some story. I don't care enough about Starbucks to investigate. I prefer Dutch Brothers, and I want one here now.
Alex took me to one up north.
I love Dutch Bros.
I think it was good.
I fell in love with it in Idaho, and then I bought a whole bunch of their stock and when they went public. But I also own Starbucks too, and they're on fire right now, which kills me. But still,
like good or bad?
Good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. The earliest text describing mermaids was the 7th to mid 8th century, and they were described as sea girls whose beauty and sweet song allured seafarers. I don't know how to say this name. Atargis?
Gesundheit.
What is that? There's so many syllables. Atargis?
Atargatis? We don't know.
That person.
Okay, keep going. Let's get some context.
So was a mermaid-like goddess identified by Greek and Roman writers. The myth stated that A gave birth to a child from an affair. She was ashamed and abandoned the child in the desert and then drowned herself in the lake, only to be transformed into a human-headed fish.
Damn, Lady A.
Her child name...
Oh, God.
S was fed by doves and was able to survive and became a queen.
Like bird fed?
Literally bird fed by doves.
Sorry.
I could have done without the sound effect.
It adds to the experience.
So sometime before 546 BC, a Malaysian philosopher suggested that mankind had sprung from an aquatic animal species referred to commonly as the aquatic ape theory.
Okay.
And he believed normal humans could not have survived otherwise.
So like we crawled out of the ocean and then evolved into people.
Kinda. I get into that a little bit later because that's pretty substantial in the mermaid community. Others speculate that mermaids were human women who trained over a period of time to become skilled divers and therefore just spent a lot of time in the water, which doesn't really explain their tale, but who knows?
Well, maybe it was like skilled divers that also had webbed feet, and then they started doing like mating with other webbed-footed persons to make
a mermaid clan?
Mermaid clan.
Do you remember that Disney Channel original mermaid movie? The boy was turned into a mermaid.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah,
that movie sucked. Anyway, there are many folklore from Britain, Scandinavia, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, China, Korea, Japan, India, South Asia, Africa, and America. So all of these different countries have some sort of mermaid tales. In 1493, Christopher Columbus claimed to have seen 3 sirens or mermaids, which he said were not as beautiful as they had been represented due to their masculine facial features, and many believed he was looking at 3 manatees.
Fucking dummy. So, I mean, 1492 is when Columbus sailed the ocean blue. So he's got a year of exposure on the water.
So, I mean, if anyone would have seen one.
He was just probably sunbaked and had no idea what the fuck he was
Probably.
looking at. And probably drunk too.
And did he drink a lot?
I don't know, but if
Oh.
I'm going to be stuck on a boat, I mean, when we're on a boat,
That's
we'll
true.
be drunk, so yeah.
In 1654, a Danish physician wrote about a mermaid specimen that was caught in Brazil. And again, many believe that it was probably a manatee. And then the specimen was dissected. And though in the text it was referred to as a seaman, see, I was right, seaman. The drawings were of a humanoid female with bare breasts. So, like I said, they found this specimen in Brazil. And a scientist or somebody, like, they made a sketch of it. They found a hand with bones that, like, made up the webbing. So it wasn't just cartilage, it was bones as well.
Which could be potentially just some
genetic mutation.
Abnormality, something like that. Okay.
And then there was a rib, like a rib bone. And so from those two items, he went, this is what I think this was. And he drew a naked big boobed lady with like a weird tail that split off at the bottom. Like it was legs, but they're tails.
Sure. But it's also very likely that it was just some mutated sea creature.
Yeah.
And like
or bird. They have weird
birds.
Feet.
They have webbed feet, a lot of them.
Yeah. Do they have bones in the webs?
I don't know the status of bird bones in the feet, but yeah, it's very likely that it was some just deformed thing. And you know, if it had titties, maybe, I mean, manatees are mammals, they could very well have titties,
but this was a human face with hair, titties, a belly button, and then fish.
Human faces range quite vastly on this.
It was a crude drawing. So you could go, that's a face, that's a human.
I've seen a lot of sea creatures smile and look adorable. So have you ever seen manta rays where they like lift them up and underneath it looks like they're smiling?
No.
I don't know if it was manta rays. Whatever the fuck killed Steve Irwin. They are like adorable.
Oh yeah, stingrays.
Stingrays, that's it. Oh, maybe manta rays too. And lastly, just because what killed our Lord and Savior?
Steve Irwin.
Not Ray Liotta. Steve Irwin.
I think it's a stingray.
Oh, he died in September. So sad. Stingray.
You know why I know that?
Cute fuckers, but they're evil.
Because I went to Mexico with mom and dad. I was like 14 and we stayed at Leslie's parents' house. And I went in the ocean for the first time in Mexico, and I was surrounded by stingrays, and I thought it was so cool. And I went inside and we turned on the news, and we found out Steve Irwin died of a stingray, and I was fucking terrified. And I did not go back in the water.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
but anywho, his kids are doing amazing. I followed.
I know, Bindi and something
like Robert or something. She got the weird name.
Oh yeah, he's the junior. Yeah. Okay, so now the aquatic ape theory,
crawling up on land theory. Okay,
according to you, yes. So it developed before major discoveries of ancient hominin fossils in East Africa. So it had nothing to be compared to. So theories can run wild because there's no fossils.
Sure.
It was originally proposed by the English marine biologist Alistair Hardy in the 1960s. He argued that a branch of apes was forced by competition over terrestrial habitats to hunt for food such as shellfish on the coast and the seabed, leading to adaptations that explain distinctive characteristics of modern humans. So basically, there's apes just walking around, but because there's so many, they can't just get one land source of food. They also are now having to compete to get seafood as well, because that's all that's available. So because of that, he believed that they mutated in order
over time.
Yes, in order to be more successful at getting seafood.
So that could explain the potential of like the humanoid factor, because I mean, you know what, evolution,
we were apes.
I mean, most of us feel that way, but yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'm not getting into that fucking debate right now.
But yeah, as far as the fishy portion, I don't know where that comes into play.
Yeah, I don't see why having a fin would give you an evolutionary advantage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like to swim faster, I guess, but
maybe. It's not like they're Oh, I guess they are evolving to live in the water if they become mer people eventually.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, do they have gills? I'm just going to say.
No, and that's a big issue.
Oh, okay. Because I wanted to be marine biologist. That was
Me too. I think every kid wants to at some point.
I think so, but I was like hardcore into it, and Dad was like, no, you should like go to school for something that you're going to make money doing. Mm-hmm. But if I had known that potentially studying mermaids was like on the docket, I probably would have fought a little bit harder.
So actually, funny that you mentioned that, because I am having a drastic career change here shortly, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Before Alex started his apprenticeship, he's like, oh, just use my GI Bill, go back to school for whatever you want.
Why not?
So I'm like, I'll just become a marine biologist and go fucking tag sharks. Like, that sounds so fucking fun, but
that's also a lot of work.
And it's not gonna happen.
I do have, but you're staying in California. I have a client who lives in the Washington area. Mm-hmm. He is a professor. He's a marine biologist. And so his summers, he goes out to this like remote location and teaches all of these like workshops, and they go out into the ocean. I'm like, you're living my dream.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
cool. He doesn't
cool.
make a lot of money though. So Dad was right.
This is where you should get a sugar daddy.
Study
it's fine.
Business or finance.
Don't do that. It's fine.
I'm doing both of those, and I don't know why, but
that's a good point.
I changed careers, and I love it, but I hate it.
So the theory, the aquatic ape theory, is generally ignored or classified as pseudoscience. It has also been referred to as an umbrella hypothesis, which is a theory that tries to explain many separate traits of humans as a result of one single adaptive pressure. God, there's so many big words in this. And I wrote these notes.
Maybe you do need to go back to school.
I have 2 degrees. Bitch.
So do I.
Whatever. And then, as I stated earlier, the explanations are not consistent with fossil records to this day, which is why it's basically just a hoax theory.
A
debunked
it's
theory.
It's unfound. There's nothing substantial there. Okay.
So you're on the TikTok.
I am
changing
on the
gears.
TikTok.
Have you heard of Lilith and Layla?
No, I don't think my
face.
No, I don't think my For You page is geared towards that. So.
Well, the little FBI agent that lives in your phone, he's going to hear me talking about this, and then you're going to see it soon. So, Lilith and Layla.
Lilith and Layla.
My phone on silent.
Oh, well, see, my phone has been on silent for a decade.
Who's going to call you?
No one. You or Mom or Dad, or the ungodly amount of spam I've gotten over the last
Your phone
2
doesn't
weeks.
auto...
Well, it's still
decline for you.
Somewhat new, so it doesn't.
Oh, doesn't know your habits
until I'm like, fuck them numbers. I answer for 3 people. It just sends everything through.
Gotcha. So there was a woman named Lilith, and she had a mermaid friend named Layla.
Did she now?
She did. She would post videos on the TikTok of her sitting out in the ocean, and she's calling out to Layla, her mermaid friend, and you hear quiet singing in the distance. So, like, a big one is she's literally, like, sitting on, I don't know what fucking ocean she would be in, but, like, on the edge of something, and she goes, Layla! And then you hear, like the soft sing-song that you would associate with mermaids in the, like, playing in the distance of the ocean.
Sure.
And then shortly after, Lilith's account just completely vanished. So, the videos that she did post were kind of like Bigfoot sightings. They were super fucking blurry, and you can kind of make out, like, a shape, but there's absolutely no distinguishing features whatsoever.
So it's not like her friend like swam up to her and they had
No, there's one where it's usually all above water, like her perspective recording the ocean. And then there's one where you can kinda, if you squint really hard, see a mermaid shape. The distinct, like the different marks in the water, I think that's supposed to somewhat be her if you squint really fucking hard.
Doesn't scream human or mer person.
Yeah, so she posted a lot of videos just like that where you really can't tell anything.
Oh, is it Lilith? She's lonely. Lonely
yes,
Lilith.
It's Lilith's TikTok.
Is she dead now? You said she disappeared.
I said her TikTok disappeared.
Well, I mean, TikTok is life, so if she...
There is a theory of what happened to her.
Ooh, let's hear it.
So, in one of the videos, it's alleged that it showed Layla with a merman. And Lilith feared that the merman was starting to become jealous of Lilith and Layla's friendship. So I guess there's a thing called mermaid shifting. which is it's legit if you can use that word. And you know, to each his own. And it says basically if you meditate real fucking hard, you can physically shift into a mermaid and just go from this world to the mermaid world.
Wow.
So many people say, hey, Lilith obviously was lonely Lilith, and she really wanted her friend, and her friend couldn't come to her, so she must have mermaid shifted, and now she's with her friend.
Or maybe she had a psychotic break and now she's somewhere else. I don't know.
Maybe.
Poor Lilith.
Poor Lilith. So now we're going to go into a documentary.
Okay, before we do.
Sure.
Side question.
Yeah.
You mentioned mermaid and merman. Are there mer babies? Was that anything that popped up on your radar?
It's shown in this documentary I'm going to talk about, but it's
Are
not
they fish.
It's not. They just look like little alien.
Are they
mermaids.
guppies?
I don't think so. I don't have an answer to that.
I didn't expect you to, but I was.
If I can't find mermaid genitalia, I don't think I can find them reproducing.
Fair point.
So there was a documentary, or a mockumentary,
in
2011 that was titled "Mermaids: The Body Found," which aired on Discovery Channel and Animal Planet. It told the story of a scientific team's investigative efforts to uncover the source behind mysterious underwater recordings of an unidentified marine body. So a mermaid.
Got it.
I know exactly where I was on the day that this documentary was released on May 27th, 2012, because I watched this documentary.
May 27th, 2012. I was probably boozing it up for an anniversary thing and like Paso Robles or something.
I was in high school and I was at Marissa's house. I think she was having a party, or we were maybe, I don't think it was just the two of us at the sleepover, but I know I was spending the night and she was doing something in the kitchen. So I don't know if people were already over or if I just didn't feel like being social yet because no one was there. But we were in her living room, or I was, and I turned on her TV and I was trying to find something to watch, and I saw something that said mermaid and it had just started. So I was hooked. I watched this entire, it's like an hour and something documentary. And I was like, oh my God, there's fucking mermaids. Like,
Ooh.
I was bamboozled.
It did a good job of forcing the issue.
I never thought about it again. I never looked at it again when I decided to do the topics of mermaids. I went, oh shit, there was that documentary. I can just rewatch that and that's all my proofs. That's when I learned it was a mockumentary.
Oh no.
And that it got such bad backlash.
Well, yeah. Did Discovery and Animal Planet post it or like air it with the expectation that it was a documentary?
Let's find out.
Okay. Oh.
So it received 1.9 million views during the U.S. premiere on Sunday, May 27th, 2012 on Animal Planet. It was the network's most watched telecast since Steve Irwin's memorial special in September of 2006. Many people were fucking pissed because it gave the impression of being a true documentary when most of the material was made up and the scientists that were shown were just actors.
Oh.
There was only about 5 seconds of a disclaimer at the very end of the mockumentary that blended in so most people didn't see it.
That's shady.
And the way it's set up, the way they talk, it looks exactly like a documentary.
So,
it's on fucking Animal Planet and Discovery.
It was completely intentional. The fact that they ran with that.
That's why people are pissed. They go, you're a legitimate TV show that, gives specials on literally
I go to learn.
Yeah, reputable things, and you show this mockumentary, knowing it's fake, knowing it's going to deceive the shit out of everyone, and you do absolutely nothing to protect your viewers.
My goodness.
So I will kind of describe to you the film.
Okay.
So it starts out with a bystander recording, kind of Blair Witch style. A person walking in a white-looking hazmat suit, and they're carrying a stretcher with a black body bag on top. Someone in a suit reaches out and grabs a person's phone and stops them from recording. Right? So, and they're walking through like a sandy area. Not like, obviously not by the water, but up more towards the shore.
A dooney,
a dooney, yeah.
I mean a dune. I was gonna say a dooney area.
The screen then read, "The scientists in this film are speaking out on camera for the first time."
Asterisk. Just kidding, not real
Nope,
scientists.
'cause that's not until the end.
That's some bullshit.
So then a scientist explained a phenomena called the bloop.
The bloop.
The bloop, which was a very loud sound that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, recorded in 1997 underwater. In the video, there was Dr. Paul Robertson, who was self-described as a research scientist for the NOAA, and his partner, Dr. Rebecca Davis, who again was self-described as a biologist for the NOAA. So we have a research scientist and a biologist that work for this prestigious, that legitimate.
Oh, they're real.
They're real.
Okay, because I'm calling everything into question now.
Well, you're not supposed to know,
but believe nothing.
But no, the NOAA is a legit thing.
An organization.
An organization. That's the word I'm looking for. So in Washington State, there was all of these whale strandings, so like whale beachings.
Yeah.
And equipment that had been set up underwater prior to the beachings, and it captured sounds that were an acoustic signature similar to the bloop.
Whales dying underwater.
Or yeah, something like that. So there's a Dr. Rodney Webster who was self-described as an acoustic scientist. He analyzed the captured sounds from the whale beachings and said if you slow it down and did other sciencey stuff to it, there was evidence of a language being spoken underwater.
That gives me the same vibes as playing a record backwards and
it's saying,
yeah, for like messages from the underworld.
But he's a scientist.
Scientists are fucking crazy.
Or fake.
Or not even real, you know?
So Dr. Paul, who is the biologist.
Dr. Paul? Yeah.
Well, that's his first name.
Super credible.
Dr. Paul Robertson. So the research scientist, he explained, again, the aquatic ape theory, which goes way back in the day. Our ancestor lives in coastal areas and spent a lot of time in the water. Due to evolution, they started evolving traits that allowed them to thrive in a water environment, such as web fingers and thick layers of fat in order to keep them insulated.
Web fingers.
After some sort of catastrophic event, whether it was an earthquake, a volcano,
tsunami,
something, the lineages split. One part of the ape people was land humans, and they evolved as normal humans like you and I are today.
Okay.
The second part stayed in the ocean, evolved further traits to live in the ocean, such as their tail and their web fingers and shit.
I feel like that would be a much longer evolutionary arc because it's not like we're built for the water. We can't breathe in the water. I feel like a lot of people would have drowned in the process.
They don't have, mermaids still don't have gills. They don't have any sort of thermoregulation. They have nothing that you think if you were going to evolve into a species that can live underwater, they have nothing that
Did they readapt any of our orifices as a blowhole potentially?
Maybe a belly button. I don't know.
But still, that's only blowing out. Like
that's
not. It's not like they're able to process the.
I don't know.
Air in the
It's not a very good theory, okay? So in July of 2005, scientists were called to a beach in South Africa for another whale beaching. While there, a fisherman had caught this large great white shark. And he's like, hey, scientists, can I show you guys my shark I just caught? And they're like, yeah, we'll go dissect it for you. So they go and they dissect it. And inside of the shark, they find remains of an unusual, unknown species. The rib cage, so it showed like, they found part of a rib cage, they found a pelvis, and they found the fin, I believe. Like that within the shark.
Oh, okay.
So those were the most distinguishable parts of this unknown species.
But they weren't like assembled, right? They were individual parts.
The rib cage was kind of assembled.
It was like, is it possible that he ate a person and a fish, and that's why there's a fin in there? No.
Because, like I said, the rib cage was collapsible, kind of squishy. Right?
Like cartilagey?
It just does this. I don't know.
It does this. Okay.
The fin had bones inside, which I guess is not normal. And the pelvis showed that the creature had once walked upright, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's what we're rolling with, okay?
But if
this is what the documentary said.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm poking holes.
So they did a recreation of what the thing that they found could have looked like, and it was a goddamn mermaid. The scientists want to now take the remains and their proof of mermaids back to the US because they're in Brazil so they can publish their findings. While back in the US, a government showed up.
A government?
I don't know if it's the FBI, the CIA, the local government. It's just a government. It showed up to the lab and confiscated all of their findings.
Ooh.
So the NOAA and scientists go to the ocean to where they believe mermaids might be populating. And Dr. Paul claimed to hear them singing while out at sea. So they go to this spot. They go, I think mermaids are here. They're doing some detective work. And the dude's like, I hear them singing. I think we're in the right area.
It's fucking whales.
Then out of the blue, the fucking US Navy, they roll up and they're like, no. We're going to take all the shit that you've just collected, all this data. So this is now the second time they have been gypped by the government or the military or the something, because people can't know this secret because mermaids are just so exclusive.
It's probably because they're being a fucking pest and they're, violating some law or rule. I don't know.
Some maritime law. So then basically that's the end. I did not rewatch the documentary. Like I said, it was like an hour and something long. I was at work. So I watched a review of this mockumentary on YouTube by the user Odd Animal Specimens.
Cliff notes.
He really gave me all of this. So if you wanted to learn more or give him credit where it's due, that's where you can go on YouTube. So then it came out after they aired this publicly with no pre-warnings, no nothing, that, oh, by the way, all of this is fake. The scientists are fucking actors. The whale beachings are fake. The footage that, was found footage in the thing, it was all faked. The only thing that was actually factual in the whole entire mockumentary was the bloop. It was, the data backed them up to believe the sound came from ice breaking apart. So back in the day in 19 whatever, they did hear that noise, and upon further investigation, they found it's most likely just ice breaking up.
I just did a quick Google search. The bloop was the sound of an ice quake, an iceberg cracking and breaking away.
See, NOAA.
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
Wow. 3 seconds, not even. We got our answer.
So, but the bloop is real, so they sprinkle it in, so you go, okay. And
no one knows what it is.
17 years old. I'm in high school. I go, this is I know it sounds really dumb, but when you watch it,
telling me what to,
like, this is where I watch fucking Shark Week. Like, you give me facts, this is a fact, and I'm just like, oh my god, how have I never seen this? How is no one talking about this? And then I forgot completely, but it blew my mind, and it literally tricked millions of people, 1.9 million people.
This is why you trust no one or nothing. I am so just pessimistic on the world because everyone's out to
but
deceive.
It's so cool. I mean, it would be cool to, if mermaids were real, but
it would be cool. It would have made a lot of my role playing in the pool seem.
You want to play mermaids?
You want to play mermaids? Yeah, it just seem more realistic. But
but unfortunately, there is no scientific facts, data, anything, proof that mermaids have currently or will ever exist.
Mermaids would be kind of kinky though, because you think that sounds weird, but think about it, like Ariel.
Mermaid fetish we don't know about.
No, I think she had like seashell, but like you also see like starfish bras, but like starfish mouths are on the underside, so are they just getting some like
disgusting
nipple action going on? Anywho,
I had a seashell bra for Halloween when I dressed up as Mermaid Man.
You did. Ooh, Halloween. I need to figure out. I kind of want to be Leeloo Dallas from The Fifth Element.
Is that the bitch with the short hair, the red hair?
The orange hair.
Whatever.
Yes.
You just really like wigs, don't you?
Leeloo Dallas, multipass.
So Alex is bald again. God, I really want to do fucking Uncle Fester and Aunt Debbie from Addams Family.
Oh, right.
This is my third year. I wanted to do that, but I've also gone as a man every year, so I feel like I be Uncle Fester and he be Aunt Debbie?
That would be fucking hilarious if there was this like 7 foot tall dude in a blonde wig and a white dress, and then you as comparatively short and like
just put a bald cap on.
I am
black out my eyes.
Into that.
I know. I feel like that's what we're
too bad. You're not gonna fucking be here for Halloween probably, and I'll never see you again.
Anyway,
that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, I'm super disappointed that mermaids aren't real.
Me too.
I am extra disappointed in Animal Planet, Discovery Channel,
like
whatever.
You should watch it. You should make your child watch it, and she'll be like, "Son of a bitch, mermaids are real."
I don't know.
I don't know if you want her going through life with lies, but I did, and I turned out great.
I lie to her all the time. It's just, that's what you do as a parent.
Exactly.
We lie to protect.
Or inspire.
Or to get them the fuck away from me when I don't want to do anything other than sit on my ass and stare at my phone.
There you
because I am entitled to downtime.
Yeah.
Not that I need to justify it.
So on a crack scale.
Yeah, what would you rate this one?
I would rate this certifiably cracked.
Yeah, that's some bullshit right there.
No, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
It leaves more questions than answers, and I keep going to the disgusting sexual side of things. And really, until that can be resolved, I'll just never believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking about covering next week?
I was kind of going through our initial talking points list. We have 2 pages of things, and
I constantly add to mine as well.
Good, yeah. And so we're chipping away. I'm glad that we keep adding because we'll never run out of things to talk about at this point. So too recently we did Perverted Disney, so I'm not ready to circle back to Nickelodeon yet. So I kind of have it narrowed down for the time being to Canada and Gaydar, or you've not heard of Gaydar?
I do. I don't know why it's associated with Canada.
I don't remember why I have Canada/Gaydar, but
okay,
we can narrow it down to Gaydar.
Okay,
or explore Black Dahlia.
Elizabeth Short.
Ooh.
I would say do that one because I can contribute because I don't even need to do research. I'm well aware with her case, and I like that.
Yes. And just as a side note, I love dahlias. They're my second favorite flower. It's what is tattooed on my shoulder.
Oh.
Lilies are the first favorite. But anywho.
Okay.
Cool. Wow. Are we going to call this one a wrap then?
Yeah, I think so.
But for those, you can find us on social media. We have a Facebook page that I don't think has ever been looked at.
It is linked to our Instagram.
Oh, okay.
But no, I'm the only one who's looked at it.
I don't even think I follow us.
You don't. I'm the only follower.
We have an Instagram.
That's where we are most active.
And that's still.
Hey, I do my best.
You are doing amazing because you carry 99% of this.
I do. Anytime an episode is released, I post about it. That's where we get a lot of our messages from. If you want to request a topic, you want to give us some feedback, but nice feedback. You want to just tell us how awesome we are, you can do that on Instagram, Cracked Sisters Conspiracies. We have a Patreon that's been launched. And again, we have like 3 contributors to it. We would love more. Yeah. You can only do there's a $1 option, there's a $3 option, and a $5 option. We're not asking for much. You can get exclusive access to what we look like. And our video recordings of the shenanigans. The creative process and all the things that are cut out of the... Yeah, because we don't know how to edit video, so you just get all of it. Warts and all. So yeah, check out the Patreon of the same name, Cracked Sisters Conspiracies. I know we've mentioned we have a Twitter. Again, I will never know how to fucking use that. Don't use the Twitter. We just happen to have it. And then obviously we have an email, crackedsistersconspiracies@gmail.com. Should you want to reach us for any other reason, let's say you don't have Instagram, you can also get us there. But if you don't have Instagram, I don't know how you found us, honestly. So... I don't know how people in fucking Finland or... Oh my God, that's so cool. We have, I think, 9 countries, roughly, like listeners in 9 different countries, which just blew my fucking mind. I was so excited. And thank you. I hope they're not all false starts and they listen for 30 seconds or like, what the fuck is this? And move on. Better. Yeah. We appreciate you. Alrighty. Until next time, stay cracked, y'all. And have a great day.